Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Not at the studio today. I'm actually in Tampa, Florida, as I'm doing some play-by-play for the Flag Football World Championships, but still wanted to get you guys a video on the latest John Harbaugh news and the information and why the deal has not been signed yet. No reason to be concerned about that. We'll dive into that, but this is why you subscribe to the channel. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're going to get you guys a video ASAP. Thank you for helping us cross 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't yet, change it. Hit that sub button and lock us in. Free Giants videos every day. So it was Wednesday night when the news came out that the Giants and John Harbaugh were getting close to finalizing a deal for him to be the next head coach of Big Blue. But it is now Saturday morning, and there has still been no report that this is officially done. And we are seeing Giants beat reporters as well as national NFL insiders like Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, as well as Diana Rossini, all saying that the deal is not done, but it is expected to get done. And what we have just heard, it is good news that this is not being done yet, because there's going to be wholesale changes to the Giants organization. We'll talk about that in a moment. New York Post's Paul Schwartz saying, quote, "A good path in getting close was the way that both sides characterized the John Harbaugh Giants contract process. Does it get done today? Introductory press conference would be Tuesday if there's pen to paper." And that's been the overarching theme, that it's on track, it's going to get done, but it just hasn't yet. Like Connor Hughes saying, everything I've been told is that, quote, "this is close and it's going to get done. John Harbaugh will be the next head coach of the Giants." So I wouldn't worry too much about why the ink on the contract has not dried at this point. And I would actually say it is a good thing that this has not happened yet. Shout out to our guy, Pretty Ricky, a.k.a. Ricky Scoops. He's saying John Harbaugh is asking for significant changes to the way the Giants operate and function, and he wants these updates reflected in his contract. They'll get it figured out, but there will be sweeping changes coming to the organization. And for all the concerns and thoughts and everything, what's going on, man, about why the Giants and Harbaugh haven't come to a deal yet is not to be worried about. I actually think it's good news. We know what goes on inside the front office of 1925 Giants Drive. Well, some people like to throw around the word nepotism, do whatever you want, but the Giants haven't lost the second most games in the NFL since 2017 by accident. And you're hiring a head coach who has more than 180 wins in the National Football League, 13 in the playoffs, and the most road playoff wins for an NFL head coach, and he also won the Super Bowl. So you're bringing in a guy who knows how to win, knows how an organization should function. You should want him to do those things to this organization as well. We talked about time and time again, as happy as we are, the Giants are bringing in a competent coach for a team that needs a damn good coach. We're excited about that. But I've remained pretty steady on this. I'm pumped up more so about what John Harbaugh can do for this organization going forward, the decision-making process, and everything that goes down at the ownership level, as well as the general manager level and the front office and so on and so forth. Like, God bless John Mara. We're all hoping that he kicks cancer's butt. We're praying for him. We're thinking about him. But we're starting to see different things happen. Chris Mara seems like he is becoming the face of the organization, and he is now making decisions, flying to Baltimore to go have lunch and go to John Harbaugh's house and things like that. So it's more Chris than John, and we know why that is. And I want John Harbaugh, after he collects a couple of rings for the New York Giants, to continue to be a part of this organization and kind of be a part of that handoff from the old faces of the organization to him being the new face of this organization and football team. So I know the ink isn't dried and it's not official, but for good reason. Harbaugh is going to make sure, if I am going to take this job, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it my way. We're going to operate like how I know how to operate, at a championship level, because that's what they did in Baltimore for a long, long time. You don't win 180 games by accident. So good news on that front. Yes, the deal is going to get done. I understand some people are worried about that, but I promise you, it's going to get done. The Giants are too far in the process at this point to pull out. And look, if John Harbaugh, which it doesn't sound like, is saying it at this point, he wants Joe Schoen out, do it. And I think the Giants are willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. And actually 34 seconds ago, Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network saying on the Giants-John Harbaugh situation, we're getting there. My sense is a good amount of answers on the franchise structure and how Harbaugh fits into it were agreed to last night. Says we'll have more later on NFL Game Day today. Says, meanwhile, nobody asked Flash what you call a three-humped camel, please. No idea what that last thing means. But that's what we're saying. Good news. It's going to happen. Have no fear. John Harbaugh is going to be the next head coach of the Giants, and that's what we've been wanting for so long. I continue to go back to when Brian Daboll was fired. All the things you heard from the Giants is we want a leader, we want an experienced coach, we want a winner, we want a guy that can build a program, we want a guy that can get the best out of his players, be a disciplinary guy like Tom Coughlin. And you look around and you're like, well, that's not Chris Shula, that's not Kevin Stefanski, that's not Mike McCarthy. And you're like, they're saying they want all these things out of a coach, but that guy doesn't exist. And then the Baltimore Ravens fired John Harbaugh, and he fell into your lap. And as stupid as some people may think the Giants are, they're not dumb enough to let Harbaugh go coach somewhere else. He's going to be this team's coach, and it's going to come with major changes in the front office, which I think everybody should be excited about. Quote here, those close to John Harbaugh have suggested that he would want major changes to how the Giants organization operates. That comes from Jordan Renan of ESPN. Renan adds that it already appears to be taking shape right from the jump. I also saw Jordan tweet out something. I'm going to try to find that real quick. It was essentially that John Harbaugh didn't report to the GM in Baltimore. It was that John Harbaugh reported to the owner. And that's kind of the structure that was there. I'll read this tweet. First off, John Harbaugh's deal will get finalized soon, but as they sort through organizational and operational issues, something to keep in mind. Change is difficult, but spoke with former players and coaches who were with the Ravens and the Giants. To a man, they suggested the Ravens operation was running at a different level. Everything from analytics, training, video, medical, personnel. Baltimore is known to spare no expense. Huge staffs, top-notch facilities, one of the best-run organizations top to bottom in the NFL. Several that know Harbaugh well suggested he would want major changes to the way the Giants organization operates. That appears to be taking shape right now from the jump. Again, that's what you want to hear. It was actually Dan Duggan who reported that, so I'll read that for you. It says, as the Giants and Harbaugh negotiations continue, here's a nugget that I've learned. Harbaugh didn't report to the GM in Baltimore. He reported directly to owner Steve Bisciotti. That hasn't been the Giants' chain of command historically, getting a sense of why this hasn't been a simple process. If John Harbaugh wants to be above Joe Schoen in the power structure and the food chain for the Giants, cool, done, do it. And they're going to do it. And whatever it takes to get it done at this point, the Giants are going to get it done. John Harbaugh is going to be your head coach. And why it is taking so long is actually great news because he's making major changes. I'm fired up. If you're fired up that John Harbaugh is your head coach, hit that thumbs up icon. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We'll be back later with another video.